welcome to Crochet Moments.
So if you hear any clicking, it's either me, Catherine, doing Sims or TT Rock Stars.
I'll try again. That was Catherine. She's hiding down the side.
In the corner.
Which is going to become the naughty corner. She keeps interrupting. Monkey. Welcome to Crochet Moments. I shall start again. I'm Helen and I live in Leicester with my husband Simon and my two girls Catherine and Emily. This is my place where I come to talk about my knitting, my crochet and pretty much anything yarn related. And I've also got a little bit of cross stitch to show you today as well. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Let's see if I can get this one in less than an hour. Okay, so this episode I have 2 finished objects and I've been on a bit of a finishing spree. Last time I filmed, I decided I was going to keep going for the weekend to finish my Crochet Now crochet along blanket, which you can kind of just about see here. You'll get to see it all and properly in a moment. But then I decided I want to finish my Schjeepes CAL, and I did it. It's finished. Finally finished. So those are my finishes, and I've got a few whips, and I'd like to say a little bit of incoming, but Aldi had yarn. So there's probably a little bit more yarn than I should have bought really, but we'll get to that later. So starting off with my Crochet Now blanket. Let's try and do this in a way that you might be able to see.
I have very, very nice.
No idea quite how much you can see of this blanket because I'm completely blind inside it. But this, oh gosh, I've gone all fluffy. This is oh crikey, what was the name of the CAL? It's the Crochet Now CAL that's been running through most of 2020 and the start of 2021, and I've forgotten the name of the CAL. It is designed by
Schjeepes CAL?
No, this one's not the Schjeepes CAL.
Just guessing.
Yes, so this is designed by Lilla Crochet, and it's all mosaic. So here's one of them, and we've got all these beautiful patterns. And I tried my best to follow the layout of the sample blanket in the magazine up to the last, I think it was the last 2 rows of hexagons. And I couldn't find a picture that showed that end of the blanket. So I had to just sort of throw them together in as good a manner as I can. So I'm not great at putting colours together. That's why CALs, I try and stick to the colourways that are shown. So this one, while I've not used the yarn, this is done in the James C. Brett value yarn. I think is it Big Value? I can't remember now, but it's the James C. Brett DK, which is, I think it's about £1.70 for 100 grams. I think that's what I paid for it on Wool Warehouse anyway. And yeah, so I just bought the colours that were close to the CAL colours, and I'll be doing that with the next CAL, although I might do some substitutions, because looking at the picture, I do have quite a lot of the colours or close to the colours. The next CAL the magazine is running starts in April. It's introduced in the next magazine, which is released next week. Is it next week? The 25th of March. So today is the 19th of March. So yes, next week. I lose track. So it's got this lovely border on it. And I haven't blocked this at all, so the border would probably be a little nicer if I'd blocked it, but I'm not the biggest blocker in the world. Although I do think that some of the things that I make, especially the shawl that I started with my birthday yarn, will require blocking, so I'm going to have to look into blocking properly. So that's this blanket, and I can't wait to start the next one. The next one is a from the centre start, and you'll just work out, similar to the Schjeepes CAL that I've just finished, and I'll be showing you in a moment. And I like blankets like that. I like blankets like this too, because there's enough variation in each of these hexagons that I don't get bored. I did do a blanket which I don't even know where it's ended up. My very first blanket was, oh crikey, 36 squares with a twirl of colour in the middle, and it was beautiful, but I was bored as I was working that. I'm definitely not the sort of person that can make lots of the same thing, which is probably why this blanket was so much fun to do. And here it is. It's really big. So I might have to try standing up, and maybe even standing on my sofa to show as much.
Naughty mummy!
I know. We keep telling the girls not to do this, but
You're doing it.
I'm doing it.
I'll tell Daddy.
Yes, and I'm showing you the wrong side. So here is the right side, and it's absolutely stunning. This is done in the entomology colourway, and I use the Colour Crafter pack. Ooh. But look at those corners. I hated those corners when I was doing them, but I think they look amazing. Ooh. I'm back. So yes, I love this blanket. I love it so much. I do wish that I'd gone for one of the other colourways. I just find it's a little bit, it's not as bright as I figured it would be, looking at the pictures. But obviously all of the marketing pictures for the CAL was the Stonewashed River Washed, which was the luxury yarn pack. So I'm just so happy it's done. Kudos to all those people who have made multiple of these. I loved making it. I'm not making another one. Once you get past sort of this section here, with the yellow and the brown with the leaves, the rounds just get, this was really complicated. The corner, very, very, very complicated. I struggled and leaned very heavily on the accompanying videos. Now, the best thing about the Schjeepes CALs is there are always accompanying tutorial videos, and they are done by the amazing Esther of All in a Nutshell. She does some fantastic tutorials. I have used her in the past for a few of the other projects that I've done that she does tutorials for. I did use her for the Rosetta a little bit because I hadn't really done much tapestry crochet, which is this, and I definitely hadn't done it in the round before. So that was, and overlay crochet was quite new to me at the time as well. So I learned quite a few new skills on this one. I've learned loads of new skills on this one, definitely in these corners. And some of these as well. Like the butterflies are actually worked separately to the rounds, which is something I've never done before, which was quite interesting. And same with these corners here, these boxed hedges. I think they were supposed to represent, but I can't get over it. I just wish that it was brighter. So I'm not going to let Simon pick the colourway for the next CAL. He picked this colourway, and he does lean towards blues quite a lot, as do I. I think blues are probably the colour I'm most drawn to, blues and greens, but I found this one just a little bit dark, but I love it. And anybody who is worried about being a new crocheter, don't worry, just give it a go. I never finished it though. I did make a start on the Mandala Madness, which is, and I keep mentioning her name, but I haven't recently done any of her patterns, is a Helen Shrimpton pattern. And that was a past Schjeepes CAL. So it has an Esther of All in a Nutshell, crinkling tissue paper video. So I did use a lot of that. And the reason I never finished it is it got put down while I worked on another Helen Shrimpton pattern as a birthday gift for my mother-in-law. And by the time I'd finished that, my tension, my ability and everything else had changed, so I just couldn't get the blanket to look right, and it's still sitting in a pile up in the corner of my bedroom, half finished. I think I'm on something like row 60. I can't even remember what row I'm on, but quite a way into it. So that has taken up quite a large portion of the last 2 weeks. And I decided, once those were done, I was going to go back to using my decision wheel. Now, I'm not sure how many of you would ever consider using something like this. I have a number of whips, and I tried sort of writing out a schedule, so I was working on something at least once over a 2-week period. And I would find that there were days when I had a knit project, because I tried to have knit, crochet, knit, crochet, knit, crochet. So I'd have days when I have a crochet project when actually it felt more like a knit. And I don't know. I'm just getting the app started, so I want to show you. I don't want to see the adverts. This is the one downside of this, is there are some adverts. I don't need that, but here is the app on my phone. So then I just press that and it spins around and it tells me what I'm going to be working on that day. And it stopped on my cascading. I've actually put cascading staircase and I've put that wrong. It's changing staircases. But so that's how it basically works. And the girls have been taking it in turns this week, every morning, to choose my project for the day. So I've actually got quite a bit done. Now I will first start with a whip that you haven't seen before. And this is my cross stitch whip. I do have a larger whip on the go for cross stitch, which I haven't worked on in months. And this has been a work in progress for a few months now. I just work on it whenever I'm in the mood for cross stitch, and it's on my wheel and it came up twice this week. So I've worked on it. I've had 2 evenings working on it, and here it is. So this is a whip from my mum's stash. I inherited most of my mum's craft things because I do the most crafts out of the 4 of us children. And so I got quite a lot of my mum's cross stitch things. One of my sisters does a little bit of cross stitch, so she kept a couple of bits, but I got most of it. And I've just been trying to work through those. A lot of them are smaller designs, and I really liked this one. I've started with the ones that she'd started. So this is a set of 2. Here they are. So this is the one I'm working on now, and this is the one I've already finished. So this one I started on because my mum had started this rose before she'd passed away. She had started the rose, so I had to finish it. There were two projects that I found that she'd started and hadn't got very far on. Mostly because the drugs that she was on towards the end were quite strong. She just couldn't concentrate. So yeah, so I've been working my way through my mummy's things. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to work on next. I do have a kit for a Dachshund cross stitch, which I'm fairly sure that Catherine would absolutely love to have finished because she's got a thing for dogs at the moment.
And cats.
And cats. She loves animals in general, but dogs and cats are top of the list at the moment. So I don't know whether or not to do that one and frame it for her. She also had a book of Oriental cross stitch patterns. My mum really loved all of the Oriental style patterns that you can get. So she bought a book of them, and there are several in there that she's marked of projects that she'd like to work on. And I don't know whether or not to work my way through those, or probably the option that Simon, my husband, would prefer me to do. And that's move on to carry on with my larger project, which if that comes up as a whip in the future, you'll get to see. So on to the yarny stuff. So we've already seen my changing staircases is a whip on my wheel, and this one came up on Tuesday. So Tuesday was my day for sitting upstairs watching Netflix on my phone while Simon sat downstairs and watched a movie. With lockdown, we're not getting much time to spend apart. So what we've done is we have a couple of evenings a week where we take it in turns to have the big TV. So on Thursday evenings is my day for the big TV because Simon has his Zoom meeting for his photography club. And Tuesdays is his day. So I was sat upstairs working on this. This is my changing staircases. This was my birthday start with my birthday yarn, which I really like. And it's a free pattern, and you can find it on Dragon Hoard Yarn Designs. So I downloaded this one on Ravelry. I don't know if they have it separately. This is absolutely stunning. I didn't have this printed out last time to show you. Here it is, when I can untangle my needles. So here we go. It's really simple. And I just absolutely love the way the yarn is working up. It's really amazing. It's just straight stocking stitch, and then you've got the eyelet lace, I think it's called, and it's just so pretty. And then we've got this lovely edge here. I'm not sure quite. There it is. The edge is really nice. I love how the edge is working up. So this is it's not really, you can't really tell because it will need blocking, but it's got sort of like a toothed edge, so every 10 rows you cast off 4 stitches to sort of give these little steps in the edges, in the edge. So that is pretty, and I am using my interchangeables. So this is my 3.5mm needle, and the yarn I'm using is my birthday yarn. And look at those colours.
It's jammy.
This is
Blueberry jam.
Yes, this is Blueberry Jam, and it's by Woolly Mama Yarns.
I'm pretty sure it tastes nice, but I'm not 100% sure.
No. Well, I wouldn't want to eat yarn. I love yarn, but I wouldn't want to eat it.
Jam?
I haven't actually...
I'm pretty sure you like jam.
I haven't actually bought any of Woolly Mama Yarns for myself yet. So far, the 2 skeins I've had from her have been gifted to me by my children. The other one was crazy bright colours, which I still haven't worked out what I'm doing with. But this one instantly, I saw it and I thought that needs to be a shawl. It's just look at those colours. Really, really beautiful. And I'm about 1/3 of the way through this, and looking at the amount of yarn I have left, I'm wondering if I have enough to go just make this shawl a little bit larger. I will find that out as I get a little bit bigger, because at the moment I think I'm only at about 60 stitches per row. I think. Let's have a look. Yes, 64 stitches at the moment. I'm about to start the next lace section of the pattern, but it's really easy, memorable pattern. It's a 10 row repeat, well 20 row repeat, so you have 10 rows of stockinette stitch and 10 rows of the eyelet lace, and it's just really, really lovely. So that's that. What else? Let's go with my socks, because they're right here. So I've worked on these a little bit and they are looking good. So these are my toe bean socks, and they have been designed by Kirsty Bisset of Grianaig Creations. I'm not sure. These are the sock pattern. This is the sock pattern that I got in my Christmas Eve box, and I am using my Christmas Eve box yarn, and the Christmas Eve box was curated by Knit Me Sane, and the colourway that I am using is Let It Go, which is lovely, and it's definitely screams Elsa to me.
It is a bit, isn't it?
I absolutely love this yarn, and it's so nice to work with. So let's get my needles out of my DPN holder. So I did these on Monday, which was Emily's last day for being at home because of a COVID case in her class, and it was also my loo day from working at the bank. So why is this yarn? This yarn's not wanting to sit very well. And so I was homeschooling, so I worked on these while I was supervising the online sessions. So this is the plain stocking stitch side. Let's try and hide my facey. And then this is the lace side. So I've finished the leg, I turned the heel, I did the gusset, and I've started on the foot. So I think I'm probably about halfway on the foot. I'm really, really enjoying these. These so far are the most complicated socks that I have made. And it's not a tricky pattern. I'm just saying that this is obviously I haven't really done anything with this much lace in it before. I'm really loving this pattern. And Simon was dropping hints this morning that I still haven't knit him a pair of socks. So I think the next pair of socks will have to be for him. And I don't know whether or not to just do a vanilla pair.
He's a complainer, Dad.
Daddy's not a complainer.
He sometimes
Oh, and all of this is in my Christmas mystery bag that I got from Knit Me Sane. So pretty. I really, really love this. I've bought quite a few things from Knit Me Sane over the last few months, and I'm definitely a fan of that dyer. She's fantastic. But then I follow a few dyers now, so I will be buying from each of them on a regular basis, although not too regularly because I don't want to build up a huge stash. Now I'm just going to pause the video, and because I'm running out of time for my half-an-hour slot, I've got to stop talking too much. And I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back. So what am I going to show you next? So let's move on to my crochet project, and then I'll show you my new start. So in this bag is this is my toy making bag. I can't remember if I showed you the eye set that I bought. I must have done. But just in case, I'll show you again. So in here I have a lot of my toy making things, including my set of eyes and noses that I bought from Amazon. I think that cost me about £5.
£5 just for those?
There's a lot of eyes and noses in there.
Doesn't look like a lot to me.
Anyway, so the toy I am currently working on, let's be careful how I take that out because I'm on a pattern page, is Delilah the Dinosaur. And this is in Crochet Now magazine, issue 36. Now I have looked, I haven't been able to find a downloadable version of just the pattern, but you can buy e-versions of the magazine through quite a few different places. So you've seen the body, we've finished the body. So we've got the head. Now this is where the snout is going to be going, so that is why that's a bit open. So there's the back of the head and the front. And what else have we got? Oh, we've got some legs. 1, 2, 3. Where's leg number 4? Well, leg number 4 is in there somewhere because I'm up to the horns. So I've done, so actually these are actually this way round. So they're slightly flared at the bottom because they, when they're stuffed, are going to have these little round foot pads on at the bottom. Ooh. And there's this, I'm throwing stuffing on the floor. I'll pick that up in a minute. So there's the snout. So that will sit something like that, I think. I haven't fully read the making up instructions yet. But all of this is being crocheted in, I'm not quite sure the title of the yarn, but it's an Aldi yarn, and it was a cake. So I'm just letting the colours flow. I'm not controlling it. I'm just, as you can see from the legs, they're all different shades. I just thought it might add a little bit of character. As will if it ends up all wonky, as most of my toys do. It's quite embarrassing how wonky my toys are. I can crochet them fine. It's the sewing them together that seems to be the trouble. So today's project, which is in my No Way crochet tote from Aldi, is my Hummingbird cardigan, which is becoming a bit of a long-lasting whip. I'm nearly finished. Very so close to finishing. I am halfway on the second sleeve. So here it is, which is absolutely beautiful yarn, beautiful pattern. So this is I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. So this is the design, and it's designed by Blazenka Simic, and I think I did find a downloadable version of this. Anything that I talk about, if it can be linked, will all be in the description box below, as will timestamps. I'm very conscious that I do talk a little bit too much. So everything's down below. So if you want to just jump to a project that you want to see what I'm working on, or jump to a particular part, just go down there and click. I don't mind if you don't want to watch the whole thing. And yes, so I am so close to finishing, but I'm in a little bit of a dilemma. I have one more of these contrast stripes to do.
Oh dear.
And
this can't be good.
This is how much of the contrast yarn I have left.
Is that all?
Yes, that's all. So I don't know.
Mummy, you might not like this, but I've got an idea. You might have to frog it.
No. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue and hope that I'm going to be having a serious extreme game of yarn chicken, because I really don't think this will get me past through the 5 rows that it's going to be needed. If it gets me beyond halfway, if I get into or past the 3rd row of the repeat, I'm just going to move to the main colour. If I don't get that far, I'm going to have to buy some more yarn. Because this obviously, the last 2 rows of a repeat, the box stitches will be done. Oh no. Yes. So we've got, this is the first row with the first set of box stitches. And then the second row is chains and double crochets, or single crochets depending on the terminology you use. And the 3rd row is the next lot of box stitches. Ideally, if I can get past there, plain sailing. I think plain sailing. So wish me luck. Although by the time I've uploaded this, I will have discovered whether or not I'm buying more yarn. If I do need to buy more yarn, I do have an idea of what I want to buy to make up the free postage. So it won't be complete hardship, but I know Simon isn't keen on me buying more yarn.
He never is.
Well, that's because I've got so much yarn taking up so much space in our bedroom. Now, the last whip that I have to talk to you about today is a new start, and it is a surprising experience for me. And I don't know how many of you will have seen my previous videos, But you will have seen me opening this yarn, getting it from my Crochet Society Advent Calendar. Although this is one of the one of the boxes that followed, but it has the same kind of yarn. I hated working with this stuff. I really, really hated working with this stuff, to the point that this was one of the deciding factors for cancelling my subscription. There were other factors, but one of the main deciding factors was this yarn. Did not like it at all. But I've started knitting with it. And I love knitting with it. It's beautiful to knit with. Black Sheep Yarns. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the that yarn shop. They have an online presence as well. And I have their newsletter. And last week I got an email newsletter with them announcing a new knit along. I haven't done a knit along before, and I thought that's great. I use crochet alongs to advance my skills for crochet and practice and perfect my skills for that. How about trying knitting a knit along for the same thing with my knitting? So I thought, I've got so many scraps. I've got a whole box full of scraps, as well as my box of this stuff. So I decided I'm going to do the knit along. It's called a day out knit along. I can't remember the name of the designer. Where's my phone? Let's see if I can get it quickly enough on my phone. I think it's already on my main screen. Oh, yes, it is. Let's bring that up. So it is designed by Sarah Hatton, and it's not a fantastic picture, but there's, I don't know if that's quite showing up, but that's one of the pictures from the knit along. And I just thought it looked really nice. I have all these scraps to use up. So I started, and I am 3 squares in to the first set of squares. Now the second pattern has already been released, but this is my 20 minutes of knitting first thing in the morning. So when the alarm goes off at 6, Simon gets up and goes in the shower, and I sit and knit while he is in the shower. So I'm not going to be staying up to date with these, but here is the first square. It's really, really nice. Now there are instruction videos, so if you're fairly new to knitting and you're not very confident, I'm not confident knitter at all. I always have a go because I'm very adventurous with my projects, but I just look at it, it's beautiful. And the stitch definition. And the problem I had with splitting when I was crocheting with this yarn, not there for knitting. It didn't split, it didn't untwist, it was almost as though it was made for knitting rather than crochet, and I loved it. I love knitting with this yarn. Absolutely beautiful. So there you go. So if you do have more than one craft like I have, and you come across a yarn that you just cannot get on with, don't give up. Just try something else. I was never going to crochet with this yarn again. Definitely not. But I wanted to give it a go knitting just to see, and I'm glad I did, because this is just gorgeous. And I'm doing these on my 4mm interchangeable needles. On the next square I'm going to be really adventurous, a set of squares, and I'm going to attempt to have 2 or 3 squares on the same needle and work each row at a time. I don't know how that's going to work out, but that's where I am with this square. This is the last of 4 squares for this one. So that's all of the whips that I have to show you today. I haven't worked anything on my Outpost sweater or my summer court top. They haven't come up on my wheel. So once they come up on my wheel, if I do work on them again in the next couple of weeks, I hope I do, and then I'll have some more to show you then. So that's those. So onto my incoming now. It was going to be a case of not a lot of incoming until Aldi had their yarn event. So I will start with the Aldi yarn. I didn't get one of every colour because I thought that might be being a little bit excessive. Now excuse the rustling, I just take some out to show you because I wasn't prepared enough. I should have done this earlier. So Simon went shopping, doing the groceries, and I received a video call to say, which colours do you want? Because he knows me so well. He knew that if he didn't get them there and then, the Aldi yarn never stays long on the shelf. In fact, a week later I went thinking I might top up what he bought, and there's none of it left. Well, none of the double knit. There's some of the chunky left and some of the more specialist yarns. I say specialist yarns, the stuff that I don't like. I don't like their colour changing cakes too much. I find the yarn in that a little bit too rough. So I think this is all of my double knit. So each bag comes like this, and it's $3.99 for 4 balls, which at £1 a ball for 100 grams, 300 meters, that's a blooming good price. So this is the cream. I might as well just show you this one in the bag. And I got the Dove Grey. And I got the Rose Red. And what's this one? The Aqua. And the Grape. So these are the colours that I bought in the double knit, and it's 100% acrylic, and it's really soft. It's really nice. It does knit up really well, and crochets up as well quite nicely. And I also got, oh crikey, these bags are really loud and crinkly, so I'm not going to try and get these out. I got a couple of balls of the Aran yarn as well because I love working with that. So this is Elephant.
Why hasn't it got a trunk? Get it?
It's just the colour. And this is Deep Blue Sea. And just look at that colour. I probably should have got more of this stuff. This is 400 grams. So £5 for 400 grams of Aran weight yarn. And this actually has some wool content to it as well. So it's 75% acrylic, 25% wool, and each ball has about 800 meters of yarn. So I figure that's a shawl or a scarf or a jumper for one of the girls. So that is my Aldi yarn haul. So not lots and lots, but enough. Now for my special yarn. I am subscribed to Luxury Yarns, which is Orchidine Yarns, Orchidine Luxury Yarns, flower themed mystery yarn subscription, and every 2 months I receive a skein of loveliness, and this time's around this 2 months, by months. This latest delivery is to die for. Just look at this. Look, 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 look. Oh, I love this yarn so much. This needed to be in my stash. I think if I was just choosing yarn to buy, this one would have definitely have been picked anyway. This is Spring in the Air, and it's on her platinum sock base, and it's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, and it's, since it arrived a week and a half ago, I have been taking it out of the wrapper and just stroking it because I'm sad like that. But it's so beautiful. I mean, how many of you can honestly say that when you have a yarn that you love, you don't take it out and give it a little stroke every now and then? It's beautiful, beautiful yarn. And I got these lovely stitch markers. If I can get them to focus. And they are just beautiful. She does some semi-precious stone stitch markers, which I have my eye on. There are some really pretty ones that I might invest in at some point. But yeah, so that's that. And then I had this year's yarn bookazine subscription arrive. When I subscribed, so you've seen I had bought some of the past issues and I loved them. So I thought I'm going to subscribe, thinking that subscription would start with the next one that came out, which is the March one, which has arrived. But it doesn't. It started with the September one, which I was really pleased about because the September one was issue 10, the colour issue, which I had been considering buying already. This is one I wanted to get. So to have it already there, I've got a bit of a disappointed Catherine because they've got this really pretty crochet dress, but it is not up to her size. It stops at size 8 or 9, I think. And she needs, for dresses, because she's so tall, she needs 11 to 12. So, oops. But there's some stunning things in here. They did a make along for a scarf, which is one that I want to make when I can find it. Ah, here it is. The Twisted Roots scarf. So this is made in the Our Tribe yarn, and which is a yarn that I'm dying to try. And one of the patterns in the newest book is also Our Tribe. So the newest book is Macro Botanica, and there are some stunning patterns in here, really stunning. I'm really conscious of time because I am getting quite close to. There's this gorgeous bag. As you can see, there's a few things in here that I want to make. And it's absolutely stunning. But it's called a Dahlia duster. It's sort of like a long cardigan, a long line cardigan. And then there's this a wrap. I'm not quite sure looking at it. It looks like it's crochet, and it looks like it might be done with some strange technique that I haven't done before. So I've been looking forward to giving that a try. And then there's this really curious wrap which doubles up as a top. I really like the look of that. And the plan is going to be, let's show you the standout project for me is this one. But yes, so what was the plan going to be? Yes, I'm going to try, and as well as work projects from my stash, I'm going to use a little bit the occasional types of yarn that involve the asked for yarn. Definitely that shawl that I just it's beautiful, and this needs to be in my life. I didn't used to be a shawl or a scarf person, but now I am. This is knit and it's absolutely beautiful, and I need that. I need it. So I'm going to make it at some point when I get rid of some more whips. So that is all of my incoming. And I think I might actually be under an hour today. Woohoo! Because I have to watch it through twice when I'm editing. So I have to watch it through, because I do have to keep pausing it to restart. So I have to chop the bits that involve me standing up and moving to the camera, because you don't want to see a close-up of my lumpy bumpy tummy. And then I need to watch it through again once it's all put together to mark down for my timestamps. So that is that, and I'm done. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I would really appreciate it if you like and subscribe this video. That definitely helps with the growth of my channel, and also like recommend me to your friends. I need more yarny friends. This is again my whole purpose for doing this, is to make yarny friends. So if you want to email me or direct message me through Instagram, by all means do. I welcome, if you just want to show off your whips, I welcome all of that, or just a chat. Yeah, just I'm open to being contacted, so don't be afraid. Also comment below. I reply to as many comments as I can, which at the moment hasn't been lots of comments, so I can have time to answer all of them. And I will see you again in 2 weeks. So goodbye. Happy crocheting, happy knitting, happy yarning. So I will see you soon.